Hey you all, thank you for coming back to my next video. In my previous video, I had told you up until when my brother passed on. That was on 9th of January. It was on a Sunday when I woke up to call him and the calls went unanswered. I was thinking maybe he wasn't near his phone, maybe he was sleeping, or maybe he didn't have his phone with him. Yeah. So fast forward to funeral arrangements, preparations as the only person in Nairobi, the only close person in Nairobi. But I had my cousins, my paternal and maternal cousins with me. My paternal cousins were really helpful. Those who were in Nairobi, they were really helpful. My cousin Saul, I know he's not a YouTube person, but shout out to him. My cousin Kevin, shout out to him. Kayo, where I have the best male paternal cousins, the best. Thank you so much to them. I'll forever be grateful. They were always there for me. I remember my cousin Saul would forfeit his job duties just to come and make sure that my brother's funeral preparations were in order. I cannot pay you anything tangible, anything physical, but I believe that God will pay you. My cousin Kevin, we call him K. Shout out. Just a young boy, but he would devote his time to always make sure that what he could do was done. Thank you for spending your time, for leaving your time, for leaving your other duties to come and concentrate on something that wasn't duly yours. Thank you so much. So back to my story. I was heavily pregnant. My Eid day was supposed to be on 24th of February, 24th or 22nd. Even before my brother passed on, I could not travel to where he used to stay because I had been recommended a bed rest by my doctor. My pregnancy journey was a difficult one, or a complicated one, if I may say. So when he passed on, in Swahili we say pasipo budi hubidi. So I traveled and right now I can say nothing happened to me. So I used to travel maybe from Eastlands to Kikuyu, Eastlands to town and all that. And previously I had been asked not to. So the funeral arrangements maybe from 9th went all through to 22nd of January. That is when my brother was laid to rest. I know he's resting in perfect peace. So you can imagine the hustle and tussle, the up and down, the family arrangement, the meetings, the harambes and all that. Mostly I was supposed to be there in Nairobi. And then now we had to travel home to Western from Nairobi. I remember my maternal cousin was telling me not to travel because he was seeing my condition. And I couldn't imagine myself, like I'm in Nairobi, and then my brother is being laid to rest. Maybe I would never have found closure. I'm not sure if I have found closure yet. So we traveled from Nairobi to Eastlands. I'm really not sure about the dates, but I think it was on a Thursday. We traveled Thursday night. So all this while during the preparations, the traveling of up and down, the movements, nothing, I wasn't feeling any complications. I wasn't feeling any pain. Maybe because the pain of grief like had overtaken all these other pains. So I wasn't feeling anything. So we traveled home on Thursday. Then we spent Friday still on arrangements. And then now comes the D-Day. Before I forget, I also want to thank the community. When I say the community, I don't mean my village community. I mean all the people who took part in my brother's send-off. everybody. Like, that funeral wasn't ours. Honestly, if I ever spent my money in that funeral, it's because I wanted to. But people contributed to that funeral like no other funeral. It was a WhatsApp group. People who I didn't even know, people I had never heard of. Nyang'ori, Kamsinga, Kaimosi, Nairobi, Bunyore, like everywhere. Like, people stood with us, and we will never take it for granted. We are forever grateful. Always, always. Bungoma, like, people stood with us. Can you imagine? I forget. My cousins in Dubai, before I forget. My cousins in Nairobi, family and friends from where my brother had schooled in high school, in primary, my mother's colleagues, my father's colleagues, friends, family, people we hadn't even seen. Like, because my brother was a person, like, he wasn't like me. He always wanted to socialize with everyone, check how people are doing, and I think we learned a lesson. So fast forward on my brother's burial day. It doesn't seem like yesterday. No, I don't want to say it seems like yesterday, but I remember everything because so much has happened. Everything was okay until that burial time. That's when I felt a sharp pain in my heart. And I knew it's over now. I was so heartbroken. And I know most people were. Because that marked the end. So fast forward, the burial was over. It's just at the gate. When you get to my father's compound, on your left is our graveside. So I think my brother's grave is the last one. So on the far end, the graveside is my brother's grave. We did not cement the grave because like on the outer side because of reasons that maybe I might be able to talk about later. So that night I went to sleep. I was thinking everything is okay. That was on 22nd of January, right? So I had cramps. I had cramps through the night, or maybe for better part of the night. I was feeling my stomach was crampy. I had a lot of cramps. I had so much pain in my stomach. So when I went to the loo, I had intended to go for a short con. Then I realized I'm noticing some blood. So exactly, I noticed the blood. I think the cramps disappears because I was in a lot of confusion. So maybe at some pain